Kaieteur Radio.
These are the top stories we're tracking. By 2025, Guyana's payment of ExxonMobil's taxes will be equivalent to 2021 budget, according to international financial expert Tom Sanzillo. Digicel Guyana owes government $1 billion in fees on unauthorized spectrum usage discovered by Telecoms Agency. And another vaccinated person among six latest COVID-19 fatalities, and family beats driver who ran over relative. Sputnik 5 second dose arrives in Guyana, according to the health minister, and the coalition's chief PR Imran Khan succumbs to COVID-19. Meanwhile, bandit beaten during home invasion, and brother admits to beating sibling to death with 2x4, filed to be sent to DPP for advice. Stay tuned to stay informed. And now for the news in detail. According to the Stabroek Block Production Sharing Agreement, the government of Guyana has agreed to exempt ExxonMobil and its partners, Hess Corporation and CNOOC Petroleum Guyana Limited, from the payment of several taxes, such as capital gains tax, that other local companies are made to pay. And in the instances where the government has agreed to accept the payment of taxes, it has chosen to pay the same on behalf of the oil companies. By 2025, such an unbelievably sweet tax deal will cost the Guyanese people $1.7 billion, the equivalent of its 2021 national budget. This shocking revelation was made in a recent report by the Institute of Energy Economics and Financial Analysis and its Director of Financial Analysis, Tom Sanzillo. Sanzillo was keen to note that the PSA establishes that income gained by the contractor and the other parties is taxable, but would be handled by the Minister of Natural Resources. The tax would be paid over to GRA from Guyana's share of the oil money, following which the oil companies would receive a receipt stating that the said tax was settled. And in other news, U-Mobile Inc., which trades as Digicel, has recently come under scrutiny with the government as rapid moves are paced to maximize the benefits of a liberalized telecommunications sector. Documents confirmed that within weeks of liberalization, the Irish company, headed by Dennis O'Brien, occupied spectrum without being issued with the requisite frequency authorization. Such use of spectrum would hinder and restrain the ability of other licensed entrants to utilize their duly authorized spectrum fully. The issue has since escalated with the recent discovery that the company has again started to occupy additional spectrum without the requisite authorization, even before the government could review the new frequency band. Further revelations have also indicated that Digicel has not paid its license fees for at least 5 years, an amount estimated to surpass $1 billion. The telecommunications agency has recently billed Digicel for these outstanding fees, requesting that they be paid within 30 days. And moving on, a Mahaica man, Dion Dowden, was forced to seek medical care after he received a sound thrashing from the relatives of a pedestrian whom he had run over with his car last Sunday. Around 21:30, police revealed that Dowden was proceeding east into the Kaieteur service station compound in Mahaica. The car, according to police, collided with 29-year-old Anthony Dodram, causing him to fall to the ground before it ran over him. He was taken to the hospital where it was discovered that he suffered a dislocated pelvic bone. According to police, sometime after the accident, Dodram's relative caught up with Dowden and assaulted him. He too was admitted to the Georgetown Public Hospital, suffering from lacerations about his body. And I'll just tell you, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony said yesterday that persons who took their first dose of the Sputnik 5 vaccine over the last 3 months will be able to access their second jabs, as the shots are now available. Dr. Anthony disclosed that another consignment of the vaccine arrived in Guyana Monday evening and that persons can begin receiving their shots today. Guyana, like many other countries around the world using the Russian vaccine, has been experiencing a delay in the shipment of the second dose. Officials say the global shortage is due largely to a spike in cases of the Delta variant. The Sputnik 5 vaccine is reported to have been most effective against this latest variant. And moving on, Chief Public Relations Officer for the APNU-AFC Imran Khan has succumbed to complications arising from the COVID-19 virus. 43-year-old Khan, a former head of the Department of Public Information and Director of Public Information at the Office of the President, was unvaccinated at the time of his death. Khan was reportedly rushed to the COVID-19 hospital on September 15th, days after he tested positive for the virus and encountered trouble breathing. 2 days before he passed, the coalition PR officer was active on social media. He offered thanks to the people who were praying for his recovery. In other news, a 33-year-old man of Tushan New Housing Scheme, East Bank Essequibo, woke up around 4 hours to a bandit about 2 feet away from his bed holding a haversack. The man rushed to the suspect and subsequently apprehended him and dealt him several lashes with a nearby wire. The suspect managed to break free and jumped into a drain. The victim then raised an alarm and persons in the area came to his assistance and managed to capture the suspect. The haversack was later discovered to have an electric saw, 1 angle grinder, and 1 electric drill. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your news at noon. We will return after the break.
Guyana, please join me on the Glenn Lal Show, 99.1, 99.5 FM, Kaieteur Radio, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast of the next day at 11 a.m. just in case you miss that program.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. A man is presently in police custody for allegedly battering his brother to death with a piece of 2x4 during an argument on Sunday night. Regional Commander Jairam Ramlakan confirmed that the suspect has since confessed to the crime. Initial reports stated that Lekram Durap, a joiner of number 72 village, Upper Quarantine Berbice, had collapsed and died at his home. However, investigations by the police revealed his brother was involved in his sudden death and an arrest was subsequently made. According to the police, the suspect and Durap got into a heated argument over Durap's wife, but the argument escalated and Durap choked the suspect. The two men engaged in a scuffle and the suspect told police he armed himself with a 2x4 piece of wood and dealt his brother several lashes about his head, back and arms. And moving on, the Ministry of Health announced yesterday that 6 more persons who tested positive for COVID-19 have died. As a result of this, Guyana's COVID-19 death toll has moved to 778. The ministry reported that the latest fatalities are that of 5 unvaccinated persons and a fully vaccinated person. Meanwhile, 123 new infections were recorded, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 31,359. Out of the number of confirmed cases, 16,444 persons are women, while 14,915 are men. Presently, there are 31 patients admitted in the COVID-19 ICU, 137 persons in institutional isolation, 3,774 in home isolation, and 10 in institutional quarantine. To date, a total of 26,639 persons who tested positive for the virus have recovered. Now for the page 7 of the Kaieteur News. Crime is so bad that the bandits are even brutalizing police officers. Cops are waylaid in and out of uniform and robbed of personal property. On occasion, they are injured. If police officers are not safe, then no one is safe, and no statistics intended to soothe will change the perceptions of citizens. widespread insecurity is a national reality. With that, we've come to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch